digital divide and APEC's key challenges in AI adoption. Technical and tactical cyber unit formed to tackle cybercrimes. Good evening and Salam Malaysia Madani. You're watching Malaysia Tonight. I am Olivia Nicholas. In a world increasingly dominated by artificial intelligence, AI and digital technologies, the Malaysian government also recognizes that bridging the digital divide is crucial for equitable development across all segments of society. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said, while acknowledging Malaysia's ability to attract huge investment in these areas, the government is also aware of the challenge of ensuring that its emerging economy remains competitive, equitable and sustainable.
If we want to ensure that an emerging economy succeed, remain competitive and sustainable, then it has to be through a quantum leap. And AI is, of course, the answer for now. For that matter, transformation, digital transformation. Now, but there are concerns we have to address. First, the digital divide. We can't talk about economy, Madani, or Madani economy, which talks about trust, humanity, justice, democratization of access.
Hence, while Malaysia has made significant strides in building its digital infrastructure, further investments are necessary to ensure that all citizens have access to the tools and resources that will allow them to thrive in the digital age.
Secondly, the other concern is issue of ethics. We are living in society. Islam is the majority. We have Christians, Buddhists, Hindus. And we want to attain some principle of humanity, values, and ethics. And therefore, the issue of data protection, the input that we provide or place into AI is pertinent.
Hence, to ensure that AI technologies are developed and used responsibly, Malaysia seeks to develop a balanced approach that promotes innovation while safeguarding human dignity and ethical principles. The Prime Minister was speaking at the APEC CEO Summit in a session titled Opportunities and Challenges in the AI Revolution. The event that took place at the Grand National Theatre of Peru was moderated by APEC Business Council Canada member John De Silva. On another note, the Prime Minister said Malaysia stands ready to align its policies to match new demands and ever-evolving industries in a multi-pronged approach to continuously attract high-value investments.
And they were talking about now reassessing our entire policy on water conservation, because we have never seen the requirements of water except by these data centers. I don't know what they do with it, but then they've been asking for more water, more energy, which means public policy and governments cannot assume that they can go on inviting and attracting this sort of investment without being prepared to undertake major reform initiatives, which would allow these agencies or investments to come in.
To this end, Datuk Seri Anwar said Malaysia is successful because the government listens. On a question about how this could be done in the context of ASEAN, he said it requires effective coordination.
Common digital agenda, legal framework, somewhat similar incentives, and we complement each other because some countries have expertise but no water, some have energy, but so we are keen to have this sort of collaboration, more effective.
A new technical and tactical cyber unit has been established to boost the Commercial Crime Investigation Department's CCID ability to effectively tackle cybercrimes. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussain announced that 17 positions have been filled to launch the unit's first phase operations. Explaining further, he said this initiative will strengthen the Royal Malaysian Police (PDRM) capacity to address cyber threats with greater effectiveness. He highlighted that the tactics used by criminals in commercial crimes are becoming more complex, particularly with the use of artificial intelligence.
Salah satu contoh yang membimbangkan ialah penggunaan teknologi deepfake yang membolehkan penjenayah mencipta kandungan palsu baik dalam bentuk video, gambar maupun audio untuk memperdayakan bangsa. Kemajuan ini menuntut kita mengadaptasikan langkah lebih proaktif dan berinovatif bagi mengekang eksploitasi teknologi tersebut dalam penipuan dalam talian.
He also noted that the restructuring of roles within the Commercial Crime Investigation Department is one of the measures being taken to address these emerging challenges. Tan Sri Razarudin also said the integrity of the Royal Malaysian Police (PDRM) remains a serious concern despite repeated warnings and reminders. He stressed the urgent need for a drastic and fundamental change in work culture and integrity to ensure the force stays relevant and earns the respect of the public.
Kewibawaan dan imej PDRM telah tercala dengan penangkapan yang dilakukan terhadap segelintir warga PDRM atas pelbagai kesalahan jenayah, dadah, rasuah serta salah guna kuasa. Malah, saya dimaklumkan bahawa pada tahun 2023 terdapat penglibatan seramai 22 orang pegawai PDRM sebagai suspek dalam kes-kes jenayah komersial.
He further noted that alarmingly this year, the number of officers involved in commercial crime cases rose to 23 between January and September. The Inspector General of Police expressed disappointment over the misconduct of some police personnel, describing their actions as selfish. Therefore, he said in conjunction with the launch of National Integrity Month 2024 on the 5th of November by Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Fadillah Yusof, PDRM fully supports the government's noble efforts to strengthen the culture of integrity. The government remains firm in its stance to implement a regulatory or a licensing framework for social media and internet messaging services on the 5th of January next year. According to Communications Minister Fahmi Fadil, licensing social media platforms is essential to address various internet-related issues including cyberbullying.
Dalam isu buli cyber, kita lihat memang pada waktu ini banyak daripada kegiatan buli cyber dia berlega dalam beberapa platform, terutama Facebook, TikTok dan juga Instagram. Inilah antara sebab kenapa kita berpendirian tarikh 1 Januari 2025 untuk pemakaian sistem ataupun rejim pelesenan bagi platform-platform media sosial ini tidak boleh diubah.
Regarding TikTok's pledge to address issues such as cyberbullying and online scams, Fahmi said the ministry welcomes the social media platform's commitment in line with the nation's efforts to ensure safer internet usage. Yesterday, Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim said TikTok has given an assurance that it will cooperate with the Communications Ministry, the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission and Bank Negara Malaysia to address the issues of cyberbullying and online scams. The government is mulling the introduction of technical and vocational education and training TVET for younger students similar to the approach adopted by the United Arab Emirates UAE. Deputy Prime Minister Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said that currently the TVET program in the national education system is introduced to students at the age of 16, while in the UAE it is available for students as young as 11.
Dan ini memerlukan komitmen pihak kerajaan dan kedua-dua kementerian serta para ibu bapa apabila menjadikan TVET sebagai pilihan utama. Dan ini saya akan perhalusilah kerana saya tidak mahu ianya menggegarkan sistem pendidikan sedia ada.
Yesterday, the Deputy Prime Minister visited the Abu Dhabi Centre for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, where he met with his Director General Dr. Mubarak Said Al-Shamsi and other top leaders. According to Dato Sri Dr. Ahmad Zaid, the visit had opened up an opportunity to strengthen cooperation between the Abu Dhabi Centre and the National TVET Council to enhance Malaysia's vocational education system. Well ahead in our business segment, strong investments exports drive Malaysia's third quarter GDP growth. The Malaysian economy expanded by 5.3% in the third quarter of this year, driven by strong investment activities and continued improvement in exports. Bank Negara Malaysia BNM Governor Dato Sri Abdul Rashid Ghaffur said with the country's economy having expanded by 5.9% in the second quarter, the average growth for the first three quarters came to an average of 5.2%.
Investment activities will continue to support growth amid the ongoing progress in multi-year projects, realization of the high approved investments, and the favorable financing condition.
Dato Sri Abdul Rashid noted that exports continue to strengthen on the back of recovering external demand and positive spillovers from the global tech upcycle. At the same time, imports also grew at a faster pace following strong demand for capital and intermediate goods to support rising investments and trade. Going forward, the governor said the Malaysian economy would be supported by robust expansion in investment activity, continued improvement in exports, and resilient household spending. He added investment activities would be driven by progress in multi-year projects across private and public sectors. These investments, which are supported by higher capital imports, will raise exports and expand productive capacity in the economy. Meanwhile, Dato Sri Abdul Rashid said BNM welcomed Malaysia's removal from a United States currency manipulation watch list, affirming the ringgit's market-driven status. He stressed that Malaysia has never used its exchange rate to gain a competitive advantage in the market. The governor highlighted that more importantly, the ringgit's movement should reflect the fundamentals of the nation's economy. The ringgit appreciated against the US dollar by 14.9% in the third quarter and 3.1% year-to-date as at 30 November.
Bank Negara Malaysia will continue to ensure a better balance of flows and orderly adjustments in the ringgit.
Dato Sri Abdul Rashid believes that the ringgit is set to benefit from strong domestic growth and momentum from the ongoing government reforms, as well as the narrowing of the interest rate differentials between the United States and Malaysia. He also noted that the change in the US presidency could lead to some initial volatility, but he reassured that Malaysia would be ready to bounce back as seen in previous instances. On another note, Dato Sri Abdul Rashid said Malaysia's inflation is projected to average 2% to 3.5% next year, factoring in domestic policy measures outlined in Budget 2025. The BNM governor said this includes the implementation of targeted RON95 fuel subsidies and the expanded scope of the Sales and Service Tax SST. He said lower domestic inflation could result from weaker than expected global growth, which could weigh on global commodity prices and domestic economic conditions through weaker external demand. In the third quarter of this year, both headline and core inflation remained stable at 1.9%. While there were pockets of higher inflation for selected items, such as diesel and vehicle insurance, this was offset by broader moderation for food and beverages inflation during the quarter.
The stable underlying inflation during the quarter continues to suggest limited spillover to broader prices from the diesel subsidy rationalization that was implemented in June, which we largely attribute to effective enforcement and mitigation measures to minimize the cost impact on businesses.
Dato Sri Abdul Rashid further said that measures under Budget 2025, including implementing a minimum wage, would be positive for economic growth as it would support private consumption. Malaysia's economic growth in the third quarter of this year, which recorded a rate of 5.3%, is in line with forecasts made by economists. Chief Economist of Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad, Dr. Mohammad Afzanizam Abdul Rashid, said this reflects the country's strong economy, which is maintaining a robust trajectory. Elaborating further, Dr. Mohammad Afzanizam stated that this indicates that the country's economy is sustaining a strong growth path.
pertumbuhan ekonomi ini ataupun enjin pertumbuhan masih lagi banyak disokong oleh pertumbuhan ekonomi dari segi permintaan domestik, iaitu terutamanya pelaburan swasta yang mencatatkan pertumbuhan sekitar 15.5% pada suku ketiga yang lalu berbanding 12% pada suku yang sebelumnya.
Going forward, global issues such as United States trade policy changes and China's economic uncertainty are expected to affect the domestic economy in the future. The performance of the real estate market in the third quarter of this year shows a positive development with an increase in the number and value of transactions. The number of transactions increased by 3.1%, while the value of transactions increased by 0.3%, resulting in 112,305 transactions worth 57.31 billion ringgit. Director General of Valuation and Property Services Department Abdul Razak Yusak said this positive achievement was driven by the increase in transactions in all real estate subsectors as well as the encouraging market status.
Kerajaan Madani yang memberikan tumpuan kepada pengstrukturan semula dan pembaharuan agenda ekonomi Malaysia serta pelaksanaan pelan dasar utama seperti Pelan Induk Perindustrian Baharu 2030 telah mula menunjukkan keberhasilan positif dan menyokong transaksi sektor harta tanah industri.
He added that the real estate industry, which continues to grow strongly, is one of the main engines of the country's economic growth. The Ministry of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living KPDN has established 1,770 points of sale nationwide this year under the price standardization program. Deputy Minister Fuzia Saleh explained that the program was made possible through government subsidies for transport companies, facilitating the distribution of essential goods, liquefied petroleum gas and community drumming to rural areas located more than 15 kilometers from supply centers. The 7 types of goods covered by the program include white rice, coarse white sugar, wheat flour, packet cooking oil, RON 95 petrol and diesel. For this year, the federal government has allocated 225 million ringgit to support the program, which will benefit 6 states, namely Sabah, Sarawak, Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang and Kedah.
Kadang-kadang harga naik, jual dekat kedai-kedai dalam botol. Jadi itu antara apa orang kata yang akan menyusahkan rakyat lah, oleh kerana barang perlu ini tak dapat dikawal harga. Jadi inilah dia usahanya penyeragaman penyeragaman harga barang perlu dan community drumming.
Fuzia explained that the program is part of the government's efforts to control the prices of goods, particularly in rural areas where residents have faced price hikes when goods were supplied by certain parties. The localized data from the Basic Expenditure for Decent Living (PAKW) will enable more precise targeting of government assistance, including for RON 95 petrol subsidies. Chief Statistician Dato Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin explained that unlike the B40 and M40 classifications, which are based on household and individual incomes, PAKW data takes into account factors such as location and the number of dependents, making it a more comprehensive approach.
Ada rujukan ni bukan saja di peringkat structure oleh kerajaan, tetapi berbagai pihak lah. Dan juga pelbagai agensi, bahkan pusat zakat juga. Agensi zakat juga boleh menentukan keperluan asnaf-asnaf di satu kawasan itu.
Dato Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzair added that development of this indicator is a significant milestone for the Department of Statistics Malaysia after 75 years, as it allows the country to advance by providing assessments that can be used to guide targeted assistance programs. Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad, in collaboration with Credit Guarantee Corporation Malaysia Berhad CGC, proudly announced the launch of the first Halal Portfolio Guarantee scheme. This launching aimed at providing a robust financial safety net for small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, in Malaysia. In a statement, Bank Muamalat mentioned this groundbreaking initiative with a fund of 70 million ringgit is designed to promote Sharia-compliant financing solutions and stimulate economic growth within the halal industry. This partnership reflects a commitment to supporting the growth of the halal economy, which is increasingly recognized as a vital sector contributing to Malaysia's economic development. This portfolio involves a wide range of industries, including manufacturing, retail services, and halal-related sectors. The financing terms are designed to be flexible with maximum tenures of up to 7 years for SMEs and 3 years for micro SMEs. All SMEs in the halal sector are encouraged to take advantage of the innovative financing solution. The Malaysian Franchise Association (MFA) will lead 10 Malaysian franchise companies to participate in the MIHAS at Dubai program. It is organised by the Malaysia External Trade Development Corporation (MATRADE) from the 18th to the 20th of November at the Dubai World Trade Center. In a statement, the Malaysian Franchise Association mentioned that the franchise trade mission to Dubai aims to expand market opportunities and drive the growth of Malaysian franchise entrepreneurs internationally. The association said this initiative will also strengthen trade relations between Malaysia and the United Arab Emirates (UAE). The program will also provide opportunities for local entrepreneurs to build strategic relationships and understand the needs and taste of consumers in Dubai. This trade mission features activities including business exhibitions, roundtable discussion sessions, forums, and industry visits. It will focus on the competitive advantages of Malaysian brands with growth potential in the food, education, beauty, health, and service sectors. Sime Darby Berhad is rebranding itself as Sime to reflect the group's vision for the future and its renewed strategic focus as a pure-play powerhouse in the automotive and industrial equipment segments. The rebranding aligns with the group's new purpose of bringing the best products and solutions to enable its Asia-Pacific operations to move and develop. Its official name, however, remains Sime Darby Berhad.
It's a big day for Sime Darby. It's a big rebrand. We had a lot of debate about this, obviously, but I think the whole point here is Sime Darby is very much changed from what it was 7 years ago, 20 years ago. We are a very progressive multinational in the Asia-Pacific region, and we need to change the brand to show that progressiveness. And here we are.
In line with the rebranding exercise, Sime also introduced its new tagline, Bridging Opportunities. Founded in 1910, Sime has more than 30,000 employees across 18 countries and territories. The government, through the Ministry of Transport, will host the 30th ASEAN Transport Ministers meeting and the 58th Senior Transport Officials meeting from the 18th to the 22nd of November in Kuala Lumpur. The ministry said these meetings will bring together ASEAN transport leaders, policymakers and industry experts to engage in high-level discussions on advancing regional and global connectivity as well as fostering economic prosperity. The ministry said the ASEAN Transport Ministers meeting, being the highest ASEAN transport body, shall set policy directions in the transport sector and discuss issues of common interest. Meanwhile, senior transport officials meeting as the executive body shall supervise, coordinate and review programs and directions set by ASEAN transport ministers. The ministry further said these meetings serve as the culmination of efforts from various working groups, namely the ASEAN Air Transport Working Group, ASEAN Land Transport Working Group, ASEAN Maritime Transport Working Group, and ASEAN Transport Facilitation Working Group. The meetings also serve as critical preludes to Malaysia's chairmanship of ASEAN next year. As chair, the ministry said Malaysia is resolute in guiding the ASEAN transport sector towards enhanced connectivity, intertrade and investment. Indonesian Environment Minister Hanif Faisal Nurrofiq emphasized that while Indonesia remains dedicated to meeting its climate goals, it seeks to do so through mutually beneficial partnerships rather than relying on aid. He said Indonesia's participation in COP29 is marked by a strong determination focusing on mutually beneficial partnerships. He highlighted that Indonesia took firm steps in realizing the targets of the 2015 Paris Agreement ratified in 2019. At COP29 in Azerbaijan, Indonesia identified 19 important initiatives comprising 14 aspects of negotiation and 5 forms of platform cooperation to achieve more ambitious emission targets. He noted that the COP29 negotiation process is long. However, he said there are concrete steps in cooperation with several partners to increase mitigation and adaptation actions in Indonesia, including carbon trading. The minister also highlighted the importance of a real bilateral cooperation in reducing global emissions, including through transparent carbon trading, as stated in Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, especially regarding carbon credit trading. South Korea's LG Display will inject another $1 billion into its factory in Vietnam, pushing the firm's total investment in the country to more than $5.5 billion. The announcement by local authorities comes as Vietnam looks to boost its appeal as an investment destination for international companies. With the extra money, LG Display's total investment in Vietnam is now worth $5.65 billion. Vietnam's Hai Phong industrial city is home to more than 1,000 foreign invested projects worth more than $32 billion. South Korea is the biggest investor in the city with $11 billion, followed by China and Japan. The display factory, one of LG's largest projects in Vietnam, opened in 2017. Communist Vietnam has for years been known as a low-cost country to make clothes, shoes and furniture, but it now wants a quick climb up the global supply chain. That concludes this evening's Malaysia Tonight. In our top story, digital divide and ethics key challenges in AI adoption. Do tune into World Today, coming up tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. on TV2. Till then, I'm Olivia Nicholas. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Thanks for watching and have a fantastic night.